Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Always Smiling Faces podcast. You've got me, Mark Walker. Hello. Deka, good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Kris.
Oh, fair enough.
Kris? Hello? Kris? He's not very talkative tonight, is he?
He looks a bit dead behind the eyes.
Aye. He's looking pale. He mustn't be very well.
No.
Never mind. For now. Don't worry, he's really here.
Isn't it class?
It is good. Like, did you like your spare time, did you?
It's a self-portrait.
Sorry, Dick, I'm just going to put that in front of your face for a second.
Improvement.
Look at that, self-portrait. So I knocked it up earlier.
Have you even started?
Commissions are available.
Is he even in shot at him? What a shot!
Hey, if it's not Killer Seagulls trying to get him, it's you trying to take his bloody head off with a picture.
Oh, Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah, me.
Fucking what a start.
Hey, we're gonna get
It's
some
not going to get
concussion.
any better than that, like, I'll tell you that.
It might knock some of the negativity out of him.
I don't think so. Wow.
So, yes, we're back anyway.
It's like a seagull's beak.
Have you got Greg's pasty on your head?
Do you know what I want to ask you? You were dressed, God knows what you were dressed up as.
Was it?
So like, there's at times where I was just giggling at myself. We used to have a serious conversation, I'm just giggling in the cup. It's going to be the same with that seagull.
Cedric. New special guest. We've got Cedric with us.
So once again, everyone listening to the audio, you were not going to have a clue what just happened in the last few minutes.
Exactly.
We've got a dead seagull. We've stuffed it. No, not really.
He's not
Are
dead.
you talking about?
Alive?
Are you talking about killing animals again?
Oh, we're off already.
Animal cruelty again.
So we're here. Mark's here, Deka's here, I'm here.
Finally.
Cedric the Seagull's here.
Oh, Cedric.
Shira's here. Amanda's here. This
Call of
thing
Duty
which we
character.
found behind the bars here.
Action man.
It says. Do you know what
Steve.
it says?
It's Steve.
It says, to a good mate, you are the best. Thank you for everything, Steve. Steve McLaren. That's just for you.
Well done, Steve.
Steve.
Stev.
So.
Fuck no.
This is going to happen all night, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
He's like, I'm glad we didn't have. We should have bought some Greg's with it. That's what we should have done.
I've had me tea, thanks.
God
How
almighty.
many?
Just the one.
You know, the kid
Do you
on
wanna tell
Stranger
everyone-
Things, you know, and he's like stressing out and guys are like, what's it
I
called?
haven't seen the second season yet, so don't.
What's it called, though?
Spoiler alert.
No, what's it
What we're
called?
talking about?
The Upside Down.
Upside Down.
Like, them moments that he has every time I look up, it's a bit like that for me.
He's scary, like.
Really scary.
He's a scary seagull.
I don't know. What
Just
are
looking
we talking about here?
Stranger Things,
You know,
upside
Stranger
down.
Things
No,
Upside Down.
haven't seen
I
it.
mean, it's really
No.
good. Really good. Brilliant.
I've been too busy catching up on Ray Donovan. Finished it. Swear to God, this last series is bawling my eyes out.
Oh, really?
Aye.
Oh, he's
Seen
got a
that
horse.
on,
Dear me, it was a tough watch at times.
seen that on Home
Was.
Away.
I've never seen it.
Who, Ray Donovan? Have you not watched it?
No, honestly, no, I haven't.
well.
No.
Aye, well, people that watch Ray Donovan will know what I mean in the last series.
Jason Donovan.
I've just finished Power, which was the greatest thing I've ever
I
seen.
still haven't watched that.
Greatest thing I've ever seen.
Third season, I'm up to.
On Power? Oh, unreal. Unreal.
Which episode did you tell us to watch out for on third season? I think I'm up to 3 now.
What, episode 3?
Yeah.
And maybe 5.
Maybe 5.
5's pretty epic, like, I'm sure it's
Yeah. Welcome to TV Times with your hosts.
Well,
Yeah, we do apologise.
the least we talk about the last game, bro, is the better.
Oh, Jesus.
Shall we get into it or
We'll
not?
just balls deep straight into that.
Can you remember who we played?
Crystal Palace.
Was it? No, was it?
I can't even remember.
It was Stoke, wasn't it?
No, that was the one before.
It was Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, exactly. Well done.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
That's not him. It was
Aye,
Bournemouth.
Bourne.
I've noticed though a lot of people, a lot of people on TV and in the media and stuff either call it. You got a real split between Bournemouth and Bournemouth.
I say Bournemouth, like.
But then I say timeout.
Exactly. Well, that was going to be my
And I also
question.
say-
How you don't say
Do you
time?
say
I also
Tynemouth?
say Great Yarmouth.
Exactly.
But a lot of people say Great
Because it
Yarmouth.
is actually.
Someone smells really
The
nice,
mouth,
by the
isn't
way.
it?
Who is it?
Is it me?
Is it you?
It's me.
Does it smell you?
Is it me?
Oh, God, he smells irresistible, I think.
I've pulled again.
He smells irresistible.
It's like that one of us, like every single week we pull Dick out of it.
I'm just all
Can't
about the
blame
love.
him. I mean, look.
No negativity from me, all about the love.
So, like, yes, we played Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. And he's sniffing us again.
Sorry, I apologise. Just does smell nice.
Bloody hell, you're right.
Pervert.
Do you sniff seats? Like
Sniff
bike
seats.
seats?
Depends on who's sat.
That's why he's banned from the metro.
right.
He's not denying it, is he?
Every day, huh?
Every day.
Every day with me and Rob Elliot.
Do you wear fake tie? You and Rob. So you're on paying for tickets. I like Rob. We'll get on to Rob later.
Yeah, I think we're actually definitely.
Well, Rob's had a bit of
He's had a
mixed week.
Tough week on Twitter. So, right, Bournemouth. I think we'll win in that game. Well, with predictions, you said it lost, but I think you were taking the piss.
No, he said lost, didn't you?
No, you said that because you doing this to me, Mike.
I think I was positive again, you know. I'm sure I said
Mike.
something.
Oh, I think I did, Yeah.
That's what I twatted out there.
Have you actually broken it?
Well,
Doesn't look how clever, does
find
it?
out if it just sounds like you're talking to yourself and no one can hear us. That's broke,
That's
like.
It's alright, though.
We'll fix that. We'll fix that.
That works.
We'll be right.
I said a 3-1 victory.
Yep.
I think you said 2-1, did you?
I think I did, because the joke was, I said if we score 5, I'll do the podcast naked, then I'm sure at the end I went, we'll win 5-0, is that? I'm sure I said maybe 1-0 or 2-1, somewhere around there. I think
we all tipped a win, based
so.
on the conversation we'd had this time last week around the fact that it was you would expect it to be a bit more of an open game and would be able to hit them on the break, counter-attacking. First half...
let's talk about the starting lineup first, right? Starting lineup, I think we're probably all shocked by that and
well, we couldn't
genuinely
believe it, could we?
Pleased by it.
I just
because
messaged
we're
you.
Two strikers.
Sat in the boozer when that came through and we were in shock.
2 strikers.
But I get an extra drink.
I actually did. I got an extra drink. I thought type of celebrate.
But Gayle came in and he was starting alongside Joselu. Hayden also came in, who was dropped there?
Diarmi
was dropped for Hayden.
Diarmi and Perez weren't in, are they?
The feeling around the pubs and around the ground and on social media was a good feeling. Everyone was expecting good things to come from this game.
It was positive. It seemed positive. It seemed that
yes,
we were going to attack.
It was an attacking team, wasn't it? And even though we've seen attacking lineups before the game, it's never really transpired that that's happened. But I mean, first half, I think
unbelievable.
Like we did actually create a lot.
I thought in the first half, the football we were playing was good football, very attractive football. Dwight Gayle and Matt Ritchie had a good connection between each other. It was just 1-2 football, and Adam pointed out midway through that half, the first half, that Gayle actually went over to Ritchie and started saying to him 1-2, 1-2, and that's all they wanted to play, and that works. Well, like perfect for Gayle.
The thing with Gayle is he actually turned up this week, didn't he?
He played well.
First half, he was all over the place, and we haven't seen that for a while from him.
He played like a guy with a point to prove. Yes, I thought he was chasing down. He was involved in the play. But I still think the reason why he was involved was he had 2 up front. He had the big man doing the donkey work, and he dropped off.
How often have we said that?
Yeah, absolutely. You get the best out of Gayle when you've got someone in front.
Well, I've been massive Gayle fan. I am a big Gayle fan, but last year I was, but I've always said in the Premier League I don't think he can do a job. No, I've said in the Premier League I don't think he can do a job. I still don't think he'll do a job in the Premier League. I don't think any of the strikers will do a job in the Premier League.
I think Gayle would do a job. I think.
A good one or a banger? That was a catch, that like bloody hell.
Hey,
if anyone's just listening to the audio, Mark's just nearly landed his mic and he's a pint.
Dear me.
Yep.
Wow.
Quite a full pint as well.
I'm glad it was just going towards that way, not us.
No, that's why.
But Gayle played very well.
He did.
He impressed me that game.
Surprisingly so. Yeah. I thought he was very, very bright. A lot of movement, running around, which I say we haven't seen. And rumours obviously that he's been carrying a bit of a knock and stuff like that in the previous games, or it just looked like he had a.
Did you think?
Yeah,
he just all gone.
Before that, it looked like he had a lack of interest, but he really looked to me that he came in fired up, ready to go for it.
Unbelievably,
he was ready. He was ready for that game. Like
he pressed in the same areas where Perez presses, but for me, he was actually winning the ball in their half.
Yeah.
He was winning the ball early.
But then he had the desire to then get forward, which we don't.
Honestly, I couldn't fault his effort. I really couldn't fault his effort. He had the first 20 minutes I thought were very, very good. Yep. The first 20 minutes, and I thought, hey, we're really up for this. It's probably the best I've seen we play since the West Ham at home, to be honest, for me. And then Gayle had a chance where, I know we'll get on to the chances probably, but there was one I remember where Gayle started the move off, won the ball early, played out wide to Ritchie. He then ran in the box. Ritchie then crossed it and he headed it, but the defender kind of bounced off the defender and went wide. A lot of people thought the keeper had saved it, but it hit the defender. And I thought, from that moment, we're going to really get it. Them looked terrible. Personally, I thought them looked absolutely woeful.
Well, you wouldn't have been first 5 minutes as well. The first really good chance in the
started really brightly.
Oh, well, good.
And there was one part way through, I can't remember who had a shot, but I honestly thought it was in.
Atsu.
Special mention for Atsu. That first half performance by Atsu was.
Well, I've
got to be a bit critical though. His final ball.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I thought I've said this a few. Well, maybe not in here, but I've said to a few people that for me, I think he starts games really well and then doesn't come out in the second half. And I've seen it again. Burnley was the same. I said when we watched the Burnley game, he was getting at that fullback all the time. The second half never touched the ball, and I think the same again this time. He just seems to drift out of a game. He starts it really brightly, and then.
At what point in that game did you think when we didn't get that goal in the first half, we were battered in the first half? At what point did you just think it's one of them games?
Oh, as the second half was going on, I was like, and you know what's going to happen here.
The amount of chances I felt like that,
we'd done it in the game. I don't know about that early, but
I thought we were terrible.
The more it kind of it went on, it was just like they're going to nick this, aren't they?
I was gutted Marino wasn't fit. Obviously, we now know it's going to be because at first we didn't really know, did we? Really, like I thought he might be back.
How long it'd be, but no.
Well, I say he's been out for. They said originally 3 weeks.
Well, they said 2 or 3 weeks, but do you not think this 2 or 3 weeks was to stop them travelling away with the national team?
Well, I think we mentioned this or you said it last week.
Well, that would have stopped. Would have just taken them to now anyway, wouldn't it? So he could have probably still went away.
Aye, but you're not going to. Nah.
So, but I don't know. I think at least.
No, that was only last week. That was only last week. It was only last week's game, so it's only a week on.
He hasn't played the last.
No, it's only a week on.
Last 3, is it?
Nah, 2, maximum 2.
He played the one.
He didn't play the weekend. He didn't play
the weekend before.
He came on against Palace. When he scored against Palace,
it was only last week.
Games, isn't it? 3.
Yeah, but it was only last week we found out it was going to be 2 or 3 weeks.
Aye, sorry.
Because he had to go and see the back specialist, didn't he?
Yeah, that's when I worried. I thought that might be a bit worse.
I thought he came out and said straight away.
No,
it wasn't.
Because no one knew he wasn't going to play until the team was announced.
That's right.
Of the game, aye.
Yeah, that was a Burnley game, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So it was a.
Nah, he was out before that, man.
He wasn't, man. He scored it the week after. Before he scored against Palace, 1-1 out. He scored. And then we played Burnley away. He came on as a sub, he scored. And then we played Burnley and he didn't make the team. All of us questioned why. Then they said he's been bending out too much. Whatever. So
I beg your pardon.
I was going to say carrying the team, mate.
Well, fair enough.
You want him bent hour? You want him bent hour?
I'd bend him hour.
There we go.
That's a podcast title this week.
Love him.
I'd bend Marino over.
Totally would.
I've got a feeling we'll come up with a better title than that later on. Man. Fucking hell, when it turns negative.
Well, I think we're getting there. And then obviously at half time I had no real sort of worries. Like, to be honest, I wasn't worried. I was disappointed we hadn't scored. Don't get us wrong.
But you just want them to come out and do the same again, didn't you? Really?
Yeah, I felt. I'm sure if I remember when half time came, there wasn't really a nice applause at half time, if you know what I mean. Like, there wasn't like, wow, we've really played well. It was a bit like,
well done, lads, keep it up.
It wasn't like that to me. It wasn't. I can't. You know, sometimes you can read an applause. For me, people were a bit worried that we hadn't found the goal. And the worst thing I've ever seen. But how bad was it when Lascelles was off the field injured, right? The linesman then says to him, right, get yourself back.
And he ran on about 10 yards behind everyone else.
The moment he stepped on the pitch, the linesman went, he's playing them onside. It was like, you know, like in a schoolyard where you're telling someone, like, it's him. That's what the linesman was like. I'm like, you've just told him to come on the field. Lascelles maybe...
That's got to be down Lascelles as well, though. He's got to be more clever about that.
Let's be realistic, though. Maybe he's thinking, I need to get back on and help my team. He might not have been... He's looking at the linesman going, can I come back on you? He might not have known where the ball was. And the linesman went, yep, you're on. And then he's went on. He's like, you're playing him onside.
That was dangerous because that
was terrible. Then he scored.
Straight through,
it was shocking.
All I heard from behind me was like, obviously they went on to almost score, and people behind us say, he's offside, he's fucking offside, blah blah blah. I went, he's fucking offside. Lascelles is walking on about 10 yards behind everyone else.
The linesman shouldn't be allowing him to come on to play when they're on the attack in that kind of situation. Ridiculous. If we had the ball up the other end, by all means get on. But then we're actually breaking forward and he's going to get yourself on, mate.
You've also got 3 people, like 3 humans here that have got to use the common sense. The linesman, Lascelles, and the physio that's near him. I know the physio's got nothing to do with the tackle.
Well, he was away at the time. Lascelles was generally waiting to come back on the field, but the linesman's giving him the go-ahead at the time where it's over.
Does the linesman tell him to come on, or is it the referee? It's the referee, isn't it? The referee looks over and brings him on the pitch.
The ref will say, you can come in on whenever you wish, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But the linesman literally, almost not grabbed him, but like went, it's your time's on, so like get on. And the second he stepped on the pitch, the linesman started going, he's playing them onside, I was like, what's he doing?
Because he even cussed the crowd behind him in the Milburn stand.
What are you doing, man?
giving
them shit, and he even like almost said to the crowd, "Well, it's him."
Yeah, but when the chance, obviously, Elliot done a great save. Lascelles turned on the lines and went, "You're a prick, you." Literally turned around and went, "What did you send us on for?" Anyway, it didn't matter in the end, but it was still a terrible
that was just, especially second half, that was just one decision after another with them bloody officials. And I know we'll always get onto it, but Jesus Christ.
The referee
they were shocking.
There was just no flow to that game whatsoever. No. None whatsoever.
No, it wasn't like...
Every chance he got to use that whistle, he used it. And his bookings were appalling.
Well, there was some where there should have been absolute blatant.
Their left back was it? Was their left back or their right back?
Their right back. Every single time. Well, to be honest,
that right back.
Their right back was their main attack point because they constantly the keeper would keep pumping it out again, and then he'd header it in the middle against Atsu. But then any time the ball would come out Atsu, he'd just lamp him.
Yeah,
I got right up. He fouled him. God knows how many times.
Was it him? I'm going to fast forward a little bit, but when Atsu was breaking and he just pulled him back.
Was that not his first yellow card?
Aye. How was that his first yellow card?
Yeah. Exactly.
Point in the game,
then he done something not long afterwards in the middle of the pitch, which should have been his second yellow card, and the referee wanted nothing to do with it. Absolutely. Once again, a game goes by where a player could have been sent off against Newcastle United.
Well, and then the worst one for me, which was right at the end, was Gayle was clear through on goal. Ball got played up. Gale's clear through. Nobody in front of him except the keeper, and their central defender just houked him.
Just took him.
And the referee gave nothing. Didn't even look at it or anything like that. And how on earth that wasn't a foul is just
a lot of time
unreal.
When Newcastle United are at home, you feel as if St James's Park is just not Newcastle's home ground because nothing goes our way decision wise. It's very, very rare that something like that. And it sounds like we're whinging and we're just got our black and white glasses on, doesn't it? But I genuinely believe that nothing goes our way.
The goal for Dwight Gayle, that's
onside.
How it was offside by the tiniest of proportions, but there's no way that linesman could have seen that, because when you actually see, the only reason he's given offside is because he's actually 2 yards behind play. He's looking across like that, but when you look at it, the straight line, even on you've like literally got, I think it's.
So when the ball was kicked,
Dwight Gale's big toe or something like that, it's like past the defender, and it's classed as a goal scoring part of the body.
Well, I've always been on the impression that striker gets advantage as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, true. But I guess, I mean, if he thinks it's offside, he has to give what he thinks it is, in fairness. If he thinks it's offside, it's offside. But I haven't seen it. I didn't want to watch any of the matches today. I didn't want to watch Nout. I didn't want to even hear about it again.
I just wanted to get absolutely smashed on my face after that game.
Oh, I didn't. I just want to go home and be depressed.
Go home and I did.
I just...
Oh, if I went home and just sat there depressed, Wallace would have hated us. That's why I stayed out. She hated us even more when I got home, to be fair, because I stayed out. But swings around about tonight.
I thought you was can't out.
I should turn up home.
You know, that right back you're on about. He in the first half should have been booked when Gayle won the ball back.
Which
really, really well, right? He won it back. He done what I think. He ran from the right. Gayle was saying to the guy, "What are you doing?" Like I might have been kebab.
He threw himself on the floor, didn't he? And he actually won the ball, and he was rolling around.
Gayle was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, so like Gayle went on
and then they got the free kick.
He ran over from nowhere, and I thought, he may be going over at the ref to maybe have a go. No, he just spanned Gayle around and just shoved him, and then walked back. Just ran back, and I thought that's a yellow card. Surely, ref done nothing. And then he's done at least 3 or 4 more on Atsu alone, and then got booked for, which was the worst one.
Shocking. But he was clear. He was away. Atsu was away and through by that point.
It's so frustrating because which one of our defenders was it that got a yellow card for the most pitiful tackle?
Well, Elliot got booked again for dissent, for arguing.
God, he's got every right to argue, man. A player cannot. Right, this is what I hate about the whole dissent bullshit. Right, a player can argue with a decision. Right. Because if a player feels as if that decision is completely wrong, he's in every right to... Why should he just accept that decision? Fair enough, the referee's word's final, but he should at least be able to get his point across. Right? As long as if your captain's there, and your captain's controlling the whole situation, if Robbie Elliot goes over and starts kicking off, fair enough, right? He's saying what he believes.
Yeah.
If he's gone our effing and blind on the referee, he deserves yellow card.
That's the point, isn't it? It's... If
how many times do we see the likes of Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal players, all of them gathering around the referee? Nothing.
Well, that's not meant to be allowed anymore.
Well, I was just about to say if it was De Gea in that referee, I wouldn't book De Gea.
No.
He wouldn't have done it, man. He books him because it's Rob Elliot.
It's an easy option to book a player because if a player comes away and screams at you, give me a yellow card, he's going to fuck off.
Didn't Shelby get booked for nothing as well? I'm sure Shelby got booked. I could not believe Shelby got booked for. He done out. Literally, it was the first time he had went in for a challenge.
Oh, he did.
And he got booked. And I was like, that is just the worst.
He did a couple of tackles, didn't he?
My father said he's only getting booked because it's him, just because of who he is. It was a shocker. He's never been booked, man. Wasn't even a foul, man.
Was he not 4 seconds late for the tackle like normal?
No, he won. I thought he won 2 great ones in the second half.
You trying to wind Deka up, yeah?
No, I actually thought he played poor. I'll get on to him in a minute, but aye, but anyway.
Player performance-wise, shall we go through them? Shall we start up top? Right?
Oh God!
Up top.
Should we really?
We'll start with Dwight Gayle.
Right? Very good. Yeah.
Give him a rating out of 5.
5
out of 5.
Out of 5. We'll keep it out of 5.
3.5.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah, I based.
If he had a scored, I think people would have said 5, but 3.5.
I'll give him a 3 because I would say 4 for his first half performance and 2 for the second.
I didn't think Joslu done as bad as what people are saying.
We'll probably get there. I'll dive in now. Well, sorry, no, I won't because we're going
to play.
Sorry, I apologise. Sorry.
We'll make it easier, right? Your lowest rated player, right? What are you going to rate him? Because then that gives you a benchmark. No, we'll talk about Star 11. That gives you a benchmark.
Lowest rated player who?
I thought Yedlin had another poor game, and I think Manquillo had a poor game.
He was bad.
He was. And it's the story of the two halves. Because first half, him and Atsu were doing well. The most frustrating thing for me, especially second half, is
trying to say
he was refusing to get past Atsu. The amount of times Atsu was up with the ball and there was an acre of space outside of him.
Do you know what reminded me is?
Get up past him, man.
Can you not remember when Dummett used to do that? Where he used to catch up to the winger, then he just
and then stop.
Like, and ask for the ball there.
Yeah.
No, just keep on running. I
think what we're crying out for, Manquillo to me looks like a player playing left back that's right-footed.
Well,
he just looks like that.
That's what he is.
Like Santon.
You would expect.
It's not really
with the left footer. Get them flying outside you.
What's happened to Hedara, by the way? Isn't he fit, Hedara? I'm not saying he's the answer.
Just out of favour,
like, I still don't know how Mbemba hasn't got that place. I'll be honest here. Mbemba started very well. Mbemba was bombing on.
I'm with you there.
I don't quite understand how he's not even...
Can you think of a time this season where Mbemba put a foot wrong in the first... What did he play? 4 games?
Well, I thought the only game he got criticised in was the Brighton game because he got pushed in the back, but people said he was a little bit soft. Remember that? Well, had a massive debate.
No, it was.
You're talking about different incidents.
But anyway, going back to that was the only time I could even question him as on an incident. Other than that, he was bombing on forward. He looked because he can carry the ball quite well, can't he? He's quite quick. He's good in the air. And then he's got Manquillo. I mean, did you see when it was? I'm sure it was the last. He had that shot and hit the corner flag.
It was awful, wasn't
it? How bad was that, man? Like,
well, was it Richie that was gone off it with him?
I think it was.
Because he was open for a pass.
I think both were wingers on that particular game weren't helped from the full-backs. Going back to what Mark said about Yedlin. Yedlin never really... Richie done out, but in fairness to Richie, Yedlin never really offered much support of him, did he? Do you know what I mean?
We praised Yedlin throughout as well from the start. I know we're only a handful of games in, but every single game until the last 2, he's performed a lot better than what we're expecting. Yeah. In the last 2, it seemed to drop massively performance-wise.
He was poor.
Do you think that's because...
I
thought Joselu was worse than him, personally.
I hate to say this, but I think a lot of players get comfortable in a position. And who is going to challenge Yedlin for right back?
I don't know. I think...
Jesus?
Manquillo and Mbemba can play there. Jesus, we've got options. I just think that...
Are the series
who started the season there? Because Yedlin was out, was it?
Was Manquillo.
And
then he played Mbemba on the left. For me, I mean, let's be realistic. He's not Kyle Walker. He's a £4 or £5 million player that we're bought him for that. He's not going to be able to play well every week. He's going to have fits and starts. He'll play well for 5 games, play poor for 3.
You've just compared him with Kyle Walker.
No,
he's shite.
I don't think he is. But what I'm saying is,
I like Yedlin.
I do like him. But what I'm saying though is, I still think sometimes we expect him to play well for 38 games a season. We expect every week to get that performance. He's not going to be able to do that because we want him to be an offensive-minded fullback, and I still think that they're prone to get caught out of position. The crossing's going to be questionable at times. I just don't think he's that quality of a player to play one every week.
And I think that kind of escalates with having Richie in front of him because, like I've said it a few times, Richie's quite often is caught out of position because he drifts into the centre of the pitch and stuff like that.
He started like a train, mind you, in the first half.
What I noticed about Richie, right? I know he doesn't want to be captain, right? He's already came out and said he doesn't want to be captain because Richie's the type of player where he'll go to training, then he'll go home. Right? There's a lot of players that'll hang around with each other. It seems to me, and I think Richie said before, he keeps himself to himself. Like he doesn't want anything to do with social media or publicity or anything like that. Him on the pitch is a different animal, man.
No.
Like, me and Adam, man, we only sit, 10 rows back into the East Stand, and he's screaming his tits off at players. He was basically playing right back at one point, and he was organising the full defence, telling everyone who to go for, and we've seen that before from Richie, but that for me, he's screaming out for a leadership role in this club, and he just doesn't want it. I can't get my head around it. Is it because he doesn't want the responsibility, or is it just because once he gets on that pitch, he just turns into
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. He doesn't want to do all the funny parts of being a captain and going to charity dinners and kissing people and that. He's just not interested. But when he's on the pitch, he's just an animal, and he just wants to win. He wants to win.
You want that from as many of your players as you can, though, because you want a team of leaders and strong characters.
There's one point,
absolutely,
and they were attacking down the left-hand side towards Gallagher, and must be around about 18-yard box. He was screaming at the players who to mark, who he's telling Shelby to cut back inside to stop the run coming in. Unbelievable, man. Absolutely screaming.
I couldn't agree more. I think you can never ever question his work rate, his desire, all of that.
Oh yeah.
I just wish he'd beat a fullback. I just wish he would beat a man. I wish he would get the ball
take
and just
him on, whip across him.
I wish he had as
deliver
much sort of desire to beat a fullback that he has desire about shouting to people and marking and running hard. I wish he'd just get the ball and go, I'm going to beat you today.
He'll get into the position, and then he'll put it back to Yedlin.
Yeah, I haven't seen
he'll come inside
season now where he just gets a byline crossed in.
And I don't want to bang the drum about Townsend, I really don't, but if Townsend was against a fullback, he'd get tackled 3 times, he'll come back a 4th time, come back a 5th time. He'll just keep going at them.
That's the difference between playing wingers, because people were banging on about social media, and I think it was something, I can't remember that I put it on or you put it on, about the way we're striker, and it was like, well, we'll play with wingers. I'm like, we don't play with wingers. Yes, we've got 2 wide players on that pitch, but they do not play as wingers.
That was last week we were talking about Mitrovic.
Yeah.
Saying that we're talking about Mitrovic, and something like I said something about because we didn't buy the wingers, meaning in the Premier League, like the season before we got relegated, wingers were non-existent really in that season. Yeah. Championship, yes, and people are saying, "Oh, is that because we had the best wingers in the league that season, like with Richie and Atsu and that?" And but we weren't playing to the benefits of strikers.
And like we said, that's why Mitrovic didn't score as many goals, because we don't play to his strengths. We don't have wingers that get down, like I was saying, down the byline and whip across into the box.
I think Mitrovic got a fair few assists last season, though.
I may be wrong. I'm sure he was still. Was he?
I think he got about 5 goals or something.
6, 7 goals, maybe.
I think Atsu, to be fair to him, tries his best to get down that line and cross it.
He does, but half the time the gun's out to play or in straight in the keeper's hands.
He does a lot more than what Richie does. I think Atsu,
and that's why I'm critical of his final ball
to get down. I still believe if he had an overlapping wing back to help him, Mankiw never gets beyond Atsu, and that's a problem for us. It's a problem because
you want to look at it, if Atsu is tackling that left hand side, right, he gets to the byline. You're hoping at least your left back is going to hover around the area ways, or at least cut inside towards the corner of the box. So that's an easy ball straight to him, cross it in.
Or it takes a man away. Yes. I think if Atsu gets one-on-one with someone,
that's what it's all about. It's taking the defender away from Atsu.
Of course it is, because Atsu's going to have their right wing and their right back to deal with all night, and that's why I always, when Dummett plays, that's another issue, because when Dummett plays, he never goes beyond. Yeah. So then the poor left winger's had it really. He's got 2 men on him every game. If you have someone that's willing to overlap, Mankiw does it at times. But again, and this happens to us a lot, and I just really believe it happened this game. The crowd start to get on the players' backs a little bit. A little bit. Some people disagree. You probably see me.
Totally.
More than
people on Twitter were going, it wasn't where I was sitting. It was great.
That was the worst atmosphere this season.
Totally agree.
Straight pass. Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah, you're right, mate.
That was a combination because of the fact how well we played in the first half and nothing came of it, and also I think the substitutions put a massive downer on the game.
I think it was even well before that though.
The atmosphere was.
What was shite?
It's like,
tell us a song that you heard. Honestly, I think I heard 2 songs the entire game. One was from Mitro, that was quite loud. Then the rest of them tried to drown out St. Rafa Benitez, so they were trying to defend him.
When Mitrovic was warming up, it was.
That was
by that point. It was crying out for a change and for him to come on. And
it was obvious, and I didn't.
Atmosphere-wise, it's a strange one because
it turned to poison like it did in seasons gone by when things haven't been going well in. And I mean, even Rafa's came out in last night in that dinner that was going on, the 125-year thing, about the atmosphere and the fans sticking with it, and it was almost that there was a turning point with the crowd and getting on the back, and it's like, right, you're now putting the team under pressure.
Do you know who was getting the most pelters from the fans? Was Rob Elliot. It was crazy. I know a lot of people saying he doesn't kick well. Yes, we know that, right? Keep on saying that for us. However long you want, we know Rob Elliot does not kick well. None of our keepers kick well. So, we're replacement Dolo. He can't fucking kick it well either. So that's not solving anything, right? There was at one point where Elliot had the ball in his hands, came from across or something, picked it up. We had 8 Newcastle United players in or around his box, right? All with players near them. Our fans are screaming at him for not giving it one of them players. What's going to happen? He's going to give it to the player, and then we're just going to be straight on the count. Like, we're going to be getting attacked straight away.
I haven't got a clue.
Well, to be fair, though,
let your players get out of the fucking box, fucking regroup, start again.
In fairness, though, he did hang on to the ball a hell of a lot of times when we could have been away on breaks.
Did he?
He did.
I didn't see it once.
I did see it once or twice. What I was meaning a little bit back is like, when the fans start getting on the backs like they were, for example, Mankiw, the first half, was quite close to R2. Hence, he had that worst shot of all time. I hit the throw-in. You know that one?
Yeah.
But he's up there. When the fans start getting on the back, what we're trying in the first half, Elliot was very early on, by the way, was passing it short. And we were trying to build it up. Lejeune had it for a bit, etc. When the fans get on the back, what happens? We'll just play a long ball. Everyone shits himself, and we'll just play a long ball. And unfortunately for me, the entire second half was Elliot just lumping it. And we didn't play any football. Well, honestly, that's what I think it is.
I think it was a bit of a mix because they were playing
better.
Really well.
It
wasn't that they were playing better. They were just playing very fast counter-attacking football. Whenever they got the ball, they were flying up.
I'll have corn. I'm drinking corn.
I've gone in the pump.
So
that was their total game plan, was just hit us on the break, pumping up. You've got a bit of pace. Because Callum Wilson, what's he called? Who we tried to sign?
Wilson.
He was trying. He had a couple of chances. I mean, he had one, which was an absolute shock. I have no idea how he missed that.
I'll be honest.
But he was clear through on goal.
You look at the first half, we could have went in probably 2-0 up. You could say maybe. That's been nice.
Easy, huh?
We could have lost it 3-0. Them had the best 3 chances. Scored one of them. Them other 2 chances them had were the best chances in football.
Well, the one just before they scored as well.
Oh my God.
I don't even know how it. I still
it hit Elliot's bollocks.
Don't even know how it stayed out. It hit the post and then did something. I want to clear it up. I was like,
so I want to talk about Elliot, because he's come under some stick, right?
He was mint that game, by the way.
Oh, he's come under some stick. I put out there, I might have took it a bit overboard, basically saying what type of bloke he is, right? I'm saying he's a fantastic bloke. He's came out, done so many interviews saying after his football career, he could get sold in January, right? He's saying after his football career, he wants to live in Newcastle because this is his home now. He loves the people, loves the area, blah, blah, blah.
Well, he set up, obviously, the
football academy.
The football academy as well.
Done it. But I said he's a great keeper. Maybe I was pushing it by saying he's a great keeper, but by saying he's a great keeper, I'm not saying he's a world-class keeper, right? He's a Premier League keeper, in my opinion. He's not a Championship keeper. I would easily a Premier League keeper.
I think he's...
The amount of people that were replying to me saying, he might be a great bloke, but he is a shite keeper. He's the worst keeper I've ever seen at Newcastle United. Did you see his quote tweet, that one?
Mike Cooper? You say he's like Mike Cooper?
Jesus, Mike
Worse than Mike Cooper.
Mike Cooper was horrendous.
In that game, he single-handedly kept us in that.
He hasn't.
And he hasn't, exactly what Mark said. Loads of times he has.
It's so frustrating. I just think it's because Rob Elliot is not a... He's not a household name, and he's not one of these foreign keepers who you just think, he's got this name like Deka.
Exactly.
He's going to be a fantastic keeper.
He's not, when he pulls off a save, he's not one of these ones that pull off, a one for the cameras and stuff like that, where he'll dive and do it, and then he'll do 3 roly-polies because he's like,
well, for me, he did a mint
just does it.
Where he took a deflection in the first half, and time had stood still, I thought, and he jumped back and tipped it over the bar.
Yeah,
that was a
deflection, didn't it?
Similar one against Palace.
Yes. He done 2 in the second half that were just unbelievable. Especially the one in the 88th minute when that lad, I think it was Clark, he skinned him, and he was literally 4 yards out, and he made himself as big as he could. I think it hit the bottom of his arse really, and then it bounced off the post. that was an amazing save.
I have no idea how that stayed out.
I didn't.
No idea.
And I thought, we'll survive, we'll get a point at least, and obviously worst thing happened. But anyway,
I think Rob Elliot comes in with a lot of stick in it, which is just not deserved.
We're not getting humped in games. We're losing 1-0, right? And he's doing no howlers. Yes, his kicking's bad. All right.
The only thing that I can pick up on it, and I did give a shout at him a few times, was his lack of
quickness, alertness,
hurriness. I don't think hurriness is a word.
Distribute the ball.
There was a few times I agree with him.
So many times where he could have just rolled it out to Yedlin or Richie, and he was away with an acre of space up in front of him, but he would slow it right down.
Do you not think this is because the pressure that was coming from the fans? He thought, if I roll this out and one of those lose that ball, they're going to blame me.
But
do you think he thought it was easier lumping away from his goal?
because I think the way to get the fans on board is to give us what we want, which is get up the fucking pitch and score. So the quicker you can get that team up that pitch.
Well, you'd fucking shit yourself if you put it on the floor and start dribbling, wouldn't you?
Well, no. But when you've got players piling out of the box either side of you.
I don't think we did have players piling out of the box. I think no one wanted the ball. There was at one point where Manquillo did. We looked like Elliot had the ball. Manquillo was just there, back turning him. Did not want that ball. Never ever want that ball. And we were 0 each at this time. Didn't want the ball.
When you're playing, and it's what they were doing to us, when you're playing counter-attack, as soon as your keeper gets the ball, your players need to be on their toes and turning away the other way.
I don't think we did that, as a team.
We did.
Do you?
We did. Absolutely.
I wouldn't say every single time.
Not every time you got the ball, but
because there's loads of last week we got a bit of criticism saying people, your opinion, you think your opinion's better than anyone else, but most of the times on this podcast we disagree at least a handful of times about what we're saying. I'm completely disagreeing with you.
Well, that's what football is, isn't it? Everyone's going to have an opinion. No one's right, no one's wrong. It's just.
What a bum Rob Elliot. I do like Rob Elliot.
I've got nothing against. Well, his kicking's not the greatest, right? Fair enough. So then, but we'll have to just live with that and get on with it. That's what it is.
Complaining about.
I'm not even that arsed about his kicking.
It pisses me off.
It's like you know what's going to happen.
At least it stays on the pitch. How many times last season Donald kicked it out?
He'll pull them all across to one side,
and then not kick it.
And then he lump the ball up, and it'll.
That is very annoying.
That is, yeah.
It situates everyone up in this
every time that he lumps the ball up there, you know it's going to happen. So I'd much rather he did.
Why don't the players be more intelligent? Why don't they be more intelligent? He said, I know you're telling us to go there, but I'm not going there because you're not going to hit there.
But why did Ron actually go? I keep hitting it that way. Why don't I just aim that way and I might go over it?
My only question to him, this again, you're on about him maybe the players are shitting themselves or maybe he's shitting himself. Does he want to bowl out and he loses it? Then people go, why didn't Elliot just clear it? Type of like. When you've done 108 long balls, which we did, honestly, I couldn't believe how many I counted, right? It wasn't quite 108, but it was a few.
Is this how Liverpool were going to beat Wolves?
And I'm going to get on to I'm going to start now. So
who put 50 pence in the
No, honestly, right. I'm interested to see what you think of this, right? Because
do you
think it's going to be negative or not?
No, I'm going to try me not to. Mind you, I'll get there. But so right,
I have to agree with you this week.
We're playing. All right, not 108 long balls, but an awful lot of long balls. I can't remember any time in that second half where a defender or even Shelby or somebody went to try and say, gives a short, must start a move off. It was
I don't know. The two centre defenders were dropping.
But they haven't got the balls to play it, man. They do it. It's like a bit like Perez running around. They'll come back and they'll go, yeah, I'm here to have the pass.
But it depends on the opposition strikers.
So what I would do then, right? Anyway. So Elliot will go, no, lads, no, I haven't got the bottle to play it.
Lads,
and I'm going to smash it.
Pop them up, yeah.
Right. Yoshelu was doing okay-ish at trying to...
He was winning a few balls,
He was putting them off a little bit, type of thing. Maybe should have had a few free kicks here and there that he didn't get.
Great.
Yeah.
But we weren't playing football, in my opinion. We were just playing long ball, and we had one man up front. And I thought, we've always got that chance of maybe just winning the head on, and then Gayle can be in.
Flicking in the way.
So then everyone's chanting for Mitro. The game was absolutely crying out for him. Because we were playing long, but we weren't playing fancy Latino football here. We were playing direct football. And he brought Perez on.
We weren't playing Latino football, but we brought the Latino one.
We brought Perez on, right? And didn't change the game plan in any shape or form and just kept pumping it.
We damning the game plan.
So I couldn't believe it. I could not believe what I was saying. I swear to God.
I think we were expecting Mitrovic to come on just to the way that we were doing. But then...
Well, when you saw...
And he was warming up a hell of a lot as well. So you just think, well, he's got to be coming.
But players can't just get off the bench and go and warm up.
Yeah. Do you think... I'll hold it out there. Probably you were about to say it. Do you think that... Because I do. I think Rafa had every intention of bringing him on. But then when 20,000 started shouting Mitro, he thought, nah, I'm going to bring Perez on.
Nah, I'm not.
I honestly think pride got the better of him.
I know he's stubborn, but I'm not sure if he's that stubborn.
I'd hate to think that.
I would hate to think that. Like.
That's what
I mean, how many times was that?
Rafa's
I just cannot understand why he doesn't come on.
He got asked in the press conference at the end, why did you bring Perez on? And he clearly said nothing about Mitrovic being injured or nothing. He just says that I thought Perez's movement would have helped her.
Yep.
And then he continued playing long ball for the next 25 minutes, and it just come out. It was like against a brick.
Well, I think it was just what he was hoping is what they were doing to us, and to get the ball in behind the defenders and get some pace going through.
Well, the most frustrating thing was, right?
But fucking hell, Perez.
I
think I had that. What happened to me last week to even consider thinking he wasn't too bad, but fucking hell, he was back to his best, wasn't he?
I'll say opposite the dugout, right? And I seen like the players warming up, and you did think Mitrovic, like you say, he was the one out all the time, back and forwards. Then I saw Perez stand on the touchline, and I thought, right, I went, this'll be Gayle coming off. Because it was the obvious substitution, really.
If it was going to be for Perez, I agree. And I would have still been annoyed about that, but yes I agree.
I saw Gayle and Perez, and I said these, I went, can't take Gayle off. I went, Gale's playing well, this is a good option. Then like as soon as I went, he can't take Gayle off, I went, oh, nah. I went, he's going to take Joselu off, and we're going to have two short horses up front.
Exactly what happened. Honestly, I put my hands in the air, I can't believe it. I just could not believe what I was seeing.
And we'll say, like, right.
Can't believe it.
We'll just put it out there, right? We're talking about this, and people are saying, "Oh, trust Rafa." Yes, we do.
100%, right?
But he got that wrong.
Yes.
Anyone that doesn't think Rafa Benitez got that single substitution for Joselu for Perez wrong didn't see the end of that game when Perez came on.
Well, there's a total split in opinion, isn't there, on that? There's those that think Mitrovic was the answer to that, and then there's the other side of it.
There's a split in opinion because people think
he wasn't the answer to it. What would make you think he was the answer,
right?
And stuff like that, which is what people have been saying.
That reason for the split in opinion is because people don't trust Mitrovic, and they've got every single right not to trust him because of the things that have gone on in the past, right? Every single right not to trust him, right? But that substitution should have been Mitrovic. No one. If you put Mitrovic's disciplinary record behind him, no one can honestly believe that wasn't the correct substitution to make.
Well, I'm going to say another reason why I thought it was the wrong one, and I'm not necessarily saying here that they would have stopped the goal in the last minute, right? I'm not, but in fairness to Joselu, he won every single header from their set pieces, so their corners, their dangerous free kicks. I honestly think he won 70% of the headers away. Lascelles went off injured, so you're already losing Lascelles, who's a big man for it, right? So offensively, we're struggling because we've got no height, because Lascelles is off the pitch. Let's be realistic, he was off.
He then replaced by Clark, so it's very similar substitution, I would say. Clark's
I think Lascelles is better than the
Yes, better in the air.
Right? And then we had Joselu, who was doing very well defensively on headers and also was trying his best up front from goal kicks and stuff. He brings off him. Now all of a sudden, I thought we were weak at the back in terms of set pieces, and every time we got an attacking free kick or a corner, we were weak up front.
But then you flash back to a couple of weeks ago against Palace. Mitrovic was the one in the box clearing every single one of them.
All right, because you'll do what Joselu does. It's a like-for-like replacement, but I think Joselu...
I mean, 100%. My God. Someone's picked up on this before. 100%.
Let's just... there was I think before Joselu came off, my God, he had two opportunities where he done one where he won the ball really well, he turned, and he tried to, I don't know what he was trying to do, he tried to pass it forward, but he literally passed it a yard.
There was a couple of times that I thought he looked scared on the ball.
Yeah, I agree there.
Where he'd done very well, got himself into a position, and you would think, right, go on, hit it now, have a shot. And he didn't. Right. He'd try and pass it or something like that, and it was like, that's somebody for me that is just low on confidence, doesn't want to take the risk. And because, like we've just been saying there, because if he hits one and it's a poor shot or it goes bobbling out to play or straight at the keeper,
especially in that game,
straight away the crowd is just going to be bang.
You know what, you're absolutely bang on, because in the first half when I think again Gayle won it early and he gave it to Gayle. He gave it to Joselu, and Joselu shot with his left foot first time and it literally trickled out to play. And Gayle was kicking off. Yeah. I applauded and was like, right, come on, he's having a shot. Yeah. But the other 50,000 just went ballistic, and I thought that's just not helping him in any way at all.
There was some absolute shite on Twitter about him, like in his performance and stuff like that. It's just,
I think every player that started that game, I don't think any of them deserved any sort of, I'm not going to say abuse, but I don't know what to win I'm looking for.
It'll be these idiots that were booing at the end of the game as well.
Oh, it's disgusting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I'm not going to lie, I left before like full-time whistle. Like.
I never leave. I never have.
Absolutely
never booed,
pathetic. And if you're listening and you booed, you're a dickhead.
no, he's spot on. No, he's right. Absolutely.
Stick your fingers up at the people watching.
It's fucking. How on earth does that help?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Yes, it was a frustrating end to the game. Yes, you've seen it coming, but fucking hell, man. Why? Why boo?
It's ridiculous.
I didn't actually feel any worse. Oh, sounds really silly to say this. I was as disappointed even if it was 0-0 because I was disappointed with the second half. I know they scored and I went down and got me pint at the end and I went, I didn't really care that they've scored. I'm just disappointed with that second half.
Win it, so.
And I thought, I also couldn't believe Hayden stayed on as long as he did, and that's no offence to him.
Do you think Hayden stayed on because of the Lascelles injury?
I think when Lascelles went off,
a lot.
we totally lost our shape and everything.
We did.
It's a strange one to say because we've been critical about him at times and stuff like that, especially last season.
He's the glue at the back.
But he's came this season. He's been unreal.
Because when he came off, you think that Wilson chance. Can you remember how that actually happened? Where the ball was in the air for a little bit. All Clark had to do was step back and volley it, but he flapped up and he headed it and then broke and Wilson was in. And I can't believe how slow Lejeune is. No offence, but he's slow, right? And I was just thinking, like, as soon as the cells went off, we just looked all over the place. Yeah. But Hayden wasn't fit enough to play against Burnley. He wasn't fit to start. He wasn't fully fit. So he got 6 days later. He apparently played 90 minutes on the Saturday. He was blown out with his arse after 70 minutes.
I think
while a goal kicking, he had his hands on his knees. He was blown. I was like,
I think a lot of that's to do with the cells going off.
Because he was having to.
He's having to we'll get him off then. Take him off. Take him off.
Who we're going to stick him in centre mid?
I would have put Diarmi on. I still would have put Diarmi on. I would have put one of them on. Even though I know Diarmi's dreadful and and we're criticising him against Burnley, Hayden was a passenger where we're carrying him. We really were, and that's no offence to Hayden. He just wasn't fit.
We do it too many times, and that's for me where the substitutions were wrong because again they were just too late.
So what we're going with all three of them substitutions were wrong.
Oh, can we get there? Are we allowed to get there now to the person that we got criticised for slagging?
First substitution was the first one
Perez?
No, it wasn't the first one. Perez.
I apologise. It wasn't. It was Lascelles. Sorry, because Lascelles was injured.
Lascelles went off injured. That.
Yeah.
Right. So the first
that doesn't really count though, does it?
Oh no.
The first tactical substitution was Perez on for Yoslu, and I think all three were in agreement for once that was probably the worst substitution.
I think everyone in the ground knew it. To be honest, I think even Eddie Howe must have been sitting there going, "That's alright."
Yeah.
If I was Eddie Howe, I'd be like, "Well, I'm surprised at that."
Yeah.
I honestly believe he would have thought that.
So,
if you're going to make that change and bring Perez on, then your next one has to be Gayle for Mitrovic.
Yes.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Because the whole point that you're bringing Perez on is so that you've got that bit of pace where the defence are tiring, got tired legs to get in behind them. So the only way you're going to do that is by somebody that can get the ball to him.
Atu, to be fair, Atu was knackered.
Yeah, done his groin, I think.
He wasn't making the runs, and he was
struggling.
I think Atu had to go off.
Yes, I agree.
So, did that only leave one option?
Yeah, I think it probably did.
Was that a force? Was that another force?
What we could have then done is do what we've done with Perez a million times in the last few seasons. Stick him out on the left-hand side.
It's funny you say that, actually. I did think that at the time when Atu was going off, I thought, he might just move Perez out wide now. Where, to be honest with you, he might get a little bit more time on the ball rather than being through the middle.
Yep.
And then he brought Murphy on, who I was thinking, right, great, actually, let's give him all the best. And it was like, getting a fan on the pitch.
Yeah, again, first touch.
Oh, wow. I feel sorry for him because I think he's really feeling the pressure.
I know, and I mean, I've sat here and said, he's a young lad, you've got to give him a try, he's got to give minutes, but he just doesn't help himself, does he? It's like, and you've got to feel sorry for him being put in that position again by Benitez, bringing them on that late when he's obviously very low on confidence.
Minute, I think he came on.
You're giving him 8 or 9 minutes,
9-10 minutes, aren't you?
in a game where we're struggling, we're up against it. The fans weren't in a good frame of mind anyway. No, we weren't, but he got the ball 4 times, I remember he lost it every time. But he lost it in such a poor way, in poor positions of the field as well.
He tried to go past the player, and he did Perez's trick of just running straight into him.
Do you think a lot of it's because he's replaced Natu? And Natu had such a great game in the first half, and Natu was very direct. And do you think it's because if Atu loses...
But so is he. In his previous career before he came here, that's what he did.
I'm a little surprised at how weak he is. And I know he's little and he's thin and all the rest of it, but I'm very surprised at how quite easily he's just brushed off the ball.
Well, that's when you normally see a winger that's got that type of frame, you expect them to be quite fleet-footed and be able to put the ball past the player and just go
he
around
tried that
him.
twice and the lad just went away.
He seems like a very similar build to Dele Alli, doesn't he? He's quite tall and skinny, isn't he?
I don't know, but I don't think he's
he is, like, he's quite tall and skinny, like, for a winger.
I seen him in the cup game and he looked fast. And the thing that worried me immediately was he didn't look quick at all when he come on.
Do you think,
I think
it's
that's
a
again
massive confidence issue right now?
Absolutely.
I do, yes, I absolutely.
Do you think he'd benefit from going into the
he's got to go in there. He's got to go. And I said this weeks ago.
Aarons was there last night. I know the loss, but Aarons was there.
Aaron should be ahead of him. There's just no question.
So do you think that?
No question.
That.
But that's the thing. He was bought to be part of the development squad, wasn't he?
He should be.
That's.
I don't know if you paid 12.
You don't pay 12.
No, Benitez came out and said that he didn't expect them to be straight into the team and stuff like that, but that he would be one for later on, like down the line, his time would come, kind of thing. Meaning, right back end of the season when we've had a hard 6 to 9 months, you need somebody, but you'd be expecting then him to be having games in the meantime.
Well, you look at what Aarons has done, and I'm not his biggest fan, I'm not, but you look at what Aarons has done. I think Aarons would be thinking, I'm pretty hard done by it to think he's ahead of me, like. I would be if I was Aarons.
We're talking about you talk about your wingers getting at defenders and attacking and getting the ball in the box. That's 100%.
He will
turn into you. That's what he will do.
Absolutely. He did it with the Forest game. He scored a worldie in that game. But every time he got the ball on, he was.
That's
on the
what he looks to do. He looks to attack.
Let's remember though, like
I know he's injured.
None of us want to play on the field. I was going to say not every single I was going to say every single Newcastle player doesn't want to play out field, but I think a lot of them probably do want Mirage to field. Yeah. But that's a different subject.
Well, they're already wrote him off. They're already starting to write Hosselu off just because he's not scoring. But
us on this
just
podcast,
don't appreciate the rest of his game.
We got a bit of a stick from someone that listened that said that we slate Murphy every single podcast that would do.
Whoa, less of the we.
Well, I think we've all had a little.
I haven't had a go at him.
I don't think
until this week.
I think slate's quite a harsh word to use.
We don't sit and slag him off.
I'll be honest. Maybe I probably have. And we're getting talked about him, and I've said I question that he's worth 12 million. I've probably been a little bit.
Well, that's not technically slating him. It's not his fault. He's 12 million.
I said to you at that point, it was he isn't.
I think you should be
transfer fee kind of thing.
No, you should have been a lot more
tactical.
Put your words crossed better maybe than I have. I've been maybe shooting from the hip a little bit too much. I'll still say to Rafa, why did you pay 12 million if I get the opportunity? I hope this is the point I want to make though. I think all of us want him to be the best player in the world, man. I want him to score a hat-trick every week.
Especially
I don't want him to fail. I just question
that. Actually supports the club. Of course you want to do well.
Of course I do. I was actually really, when we signed him, I thought how minced that, like they were putting pictures on when he was with his brother in the denimly looking blue top.
That was my idea.
Well done, Kris. And I thought, God, I'd love to see him succeed. And he still might, and I hope he does. It's just I only judge what I'm seeing, and he's not doing very well. That's what I'm saying.
The thing is,
people
are so fast to write.
He's not getting many chances. I have to be honest. You putting him on for 8 or 9 minutes is here nor there.
Which is why I think he needs to drop down to get his confidence up.
Yes, that's what I
in the under 23s.
I think he'll go.
He's probably not going to get his confidence up there because they're losing every week as well. But at least he's going to be playing games more than 9 minutes a game.
I think he'll go out on loan in January if we'll have the money to buy new players.
Yeah,
I think he'll go on loan.
I agree with
that. I don't think we'd let him go out after just buying him.
Oh, I think we would.
We'll let the keeper go. Well, I just bought him. He's away. We loaned him, didn't we? When the ship was gone.
Who the Belgian one?
The Belgian one.
Marcel's.
When things aren't, you've got to give him game time. And for me, because for me we've got Aarons there anyway that I honestly feel can sit on the bench for you and come on 8 minutes to go and give you more than him. Yeah. I would let him play in the 23s, which are horrific by the way at the moment anyway, or let him go on loan. Maybe give him back to Norwich, see if Norwich want him because he's home comforts. Let him go back there and build his confidence back up. Or gas somewhere, I don't know. But he needs games under his belt and he needs confidence, and he's not going to get that.
He needs to get away from.
He's not going to get
From hang on, how do I word this correctly?
He needs that.
If this atmosphere is going to be anywhere similar to what it was last week, he needs to get away from that.
He needs an atmosphere that will encourage and
probably play away games.
Because he probably, when he went on that pitch and he lost that ball the first time, he probably thought, "Oh fuck."
Well, that's what I mean.
You're right.
You just go to your shell.
He got the ball 3 or 4 times within seconds of each other, and as you say, he lost it the first time, and the fans were just on him immediately. And for all they might think we've been negative, I wasn't. I didn't at all. I just went, not a great start, but, heads up, the rest of them were just
in the ground. I'm never one of these people, like, I'll get up and I'll shout at, like, the referee and all that sort of stuff, but whenever a player loses the ball, I'll never groan and, like
I'll probably
go, like this.
Done it for Perez.
I'll probably, like, make a small little, like, noise to myself, but I wouldn't be going, yeah, fucking lad, like that.
No, I agree.
That's I hate that.
There's loads behind me do that.
There's some fella behind me, old fella, he's been there for years and years. He's the worst, man. Every time Amiobi used to touch a ball, Amiobi could touch a ball and score, and he'd be going, "You're a duck egg, a duck egg." What the fuck's a duck egg? He's
somebody that sits behind me every time Mitrovic is on. It's like, oh, he's a donkey.
And he's got the Perez. You've got the Perez fella, haven't you?
Is it me?
No, I have. Yeah, he no matter what he doesn't matter. If he scores, he's probably unhappy with
in the ground.
That's what's difficult.
I'll never ever abuse any of our players. Never.
When you've got that mentality, and I've seen it so many times where we've got players in the past and even now that I think when they score, the fans are unhappy that he scored. How bad's that when you're at that level? And I think there's players we've got that are like that. They'll score and go, I wish it wasn't him.
I've done it before when somebody scored and I was like, I'm loath to clap and celebrate.
Was it Ben Arthur?
I've done that every time Gouffran scored.
Probably.
Nah, man. It kind of.
No, that Spurs game when we won 5-1, every single one of them
goals
like
when we score, I'd jump up and
also.
I'd be like...
There was a game where I didn't celebrate goal, everyone else cheering, I just sat still. I can't remember what goal.
You trying to be Mourinho or something like that?
Everyone was up around me, I fucking sat like this, not celebrating. What game was it?
We're losing.
No, we won.
No one.
Oh, what game was it? It was either...
That's stupid, that, like.
It was either Spurs, the season we got relegated.
Jan Matt scored. How many's that one? The picture that kid at the front when Jan Matt scores.
That possibly might have been that goal.
It was the last game of the season, wasn't it?
It might have been that goal.
That was funny, like.
Because I didn't, like, I celebrated, I think, the last 2 goals. The first ones I thought, you're fucking taking the piss out of me, like. I went, how well he's playing, and he's just been bellends all season, and look what you've just performed there. I went, he's all performing because he's want to get sold.
In fairness, I actually thought that them 10 games on the Rafa were alright. When he lost 2 out of the 6, and we played Liverpool.
Well, that's that one which we shouldn't have lost because he was
offside. We shouldn't have lost. We're doing alright. In them 10 games, I couldn't really. We did our best.
If only he came in a couple of games earlier.
100%, I agree. But going back to that game anyway, substitutions were shocking. I'm sorry, they were horrendous.
Yeah. And if you're going to bring Murphy on, why not give him a chance up front? Because he's scored a lot of goals through the middle for Norwich before he came to us.
Well, maybe, but I think if you've got a player that's not confident, feeling the pressure a bit, you don't want to play him out of position. For me, you play him where he's at least comfortable.
Is it out of position? He's played there a lot of times.
Your whole formation's going, I want a shot there, isn't it?
I think Perez on the left and Mitrovic would have been the answer.
Yeah,
to be honest, thinking of it, but
a lot of people.
And I'm not saying we would have scored. I'm not saying we would have scored.
Even bringing Mitrovic on, I don't know whether that would have been the answer, because would we have got out and actually put the ball in the box for him?
Probably not.
You're hoping more for a link-up play or to take a bit of the pressure off.
It wasn't about putting the ball in the box. It was about holding it up front when we're kicking the balls for 90 minutes.
I think bringing Mitrovic on instead of Perez would have changed their style of play, because they bring Perez on and I think they think, oh well, we'll mob it up at the back now.
Well, what I thought was, honestly, I thought if the fans were shit, we were shit. If he brings Mitrovic on, that changes the ground. It changes the atmosphere.
We're going to the whole Mitrovic thing.
Because when he's
a god.
Not what the worst shouting
on social media. He's a bellend.
Well, it was when he came out. He started warming up, and it started off obviously just shouting his name because he was warming up and stuff like that, and then the longer it was going on, the second half, he came out again. He was warming up, and it was like, right, this is crying out for a change.
It was back in the days where we used to chant for Ben Arthur on the pod. That's what I went back to.
Never chanted.
Was he warming up when they chanted? When I mean chanted.
First time he was. Second time,
the last one where it was like the whole ground was chanting and he was sat back on the.
That was the 60th
on the bench.
See, that's a sign in it. For me, I didn't think he was warming up.
That chant started from the Strawberry Corner.
Oh, I did, yeah, absolutely. And for me, because as I say, the fans were poor, we weren't getting behind the team, we were moaning and groaning. I just think that would have lifted everybody.
Yeah.
I really do.
And it would have changed that like we were saying about the atmosphere. It would have changed from everybody being almost on the attack to, right, come on now let's get behind them.
That's what I
change
mean.
that negativity into a passion.
We're not saying Mitrovic is some sort of god. We're not, right? But he offers.
But that's what he gives you. He gives you a lift, and he gives you.
He gives a fans a lift.
That injection of passion that we were crying out for.
I think he gives the fans a lift. I think he would probably give the team a lift.
Do you know, if he had to come on, right, and we'd still lost 1-0, play it out the same way, we'd be sitting here going, well, his substitutions are right. It was still, even if we didn't score, it was still the right substitution. I wouldn't have been sat here going, we should have been Perez on instead of Mitrovic. No, I wouldn't have been, because the right decision was to bring Mitrovic on. That's what it was. It was the right decision.
The answer is never Perez.
You'll get a lot of people on social media now.
Never.
Where they'll hear someone saying, Rafa should have done this. Oh, Rafa's winning the Champions League, what do you know? It's like, yeah, fair enough, but
doesn't
you still got that wrong.
Doesn't mean you can't be critical.
Right, like,
doesn't mean that
Rafa's human. You can get things wrong. Because it's Rafa Benitez doesn't mean he gets everything right. Of
course,
just because I'm not a football manager and I deliver fucking parcels for a living doesn't mean like I disagree what he just did there.
You still have an opinion. That's what it's about.
100%.
Well,
football's about finding.
I think
McLaren, because you feel as if you've got to like tread on like eggshells about Rafa Benitez. Because of course I want him here. I want him here for the rest of my life. I want my kids to grow up with Rafa Benitez as manager. So
I'd let Rafa shag my wife, man.
Can I shag your wife?
No problem. Absolutely. No problems at all. Like, I'm not like no problems. That's how much I love the bloke. But it doesn't mean God. I love me dad, but I still think he does things wrong sometimes. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean I'm. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. And like I know what you're saying about he's won the Champions League, right? And he's a clown. This guy I'm going to mention, McLaren, an utter clown, right? But he's won things in his time, things I'll never win in my lifetime. He's you know what I mean? Ferguson, when he was under Ferguson, they won everything. So he's a good assistant manager. He won things with Middlesbrough. He's fucking be a manager at England. I'll never ever be in a position in my life to be successful enough to manage England. Well, but he's still a clown.
Just look at
that's my opinion and a lot of other people's opinion.
David Moyes got sacked last week. He's just walked into the West Ham job.
The shit English manager carousel.
What is going on there, man?
I bet they're blowing some bubbles down there. Like
you talk about that Belen.
Jeez,
but do you know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely,
it's just you know what I mean. Like,
you can be critical of a decision or a performance, and it's not that you want. You're not saying, oh, I want Rafa out. He's not the right answer, but you can still say, I didn't agree with what you did there, or I 100%. thought you got it wrong.
100%.
Doesn't mean you're right. Doesn't mean that they're right. That is your opinion and your thought on that game.
Yeah.
Just like we sat here last week and I thought Perez wasn't that bad. You thought he was awful. It's opinions. It's what you see and take from that game.
100%. It is.
Sometimes you get everybody will agree on the same point. Other times it's split down the middle. Sometimes it's
Well, it was funny.
Polar
I
opposites.
put on Twitter after the game and I put it, and this is how it felt to me, and I think you have kind of said the same thing in a way. And this is the first time we've spoke about the game because we haven't spoke about it, but to me it felt like the dark old days. The days of being on the back of the players, poor subs at poor times, and then losing in the last minute. It felt like old times for one day in the new little era. That
one day more.
I put that on and someone tweeted going, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. You calm down. You're totally wrong. It wasn't like that at all.
Totally was.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely
was shocking.
The only reason is if they've been stuck up in the gods in the back row of level 7 or something like that and haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had recorded this podcast immediately after full time. That would have been fucking dreadful. I'm glad we've had a few days to
Aye. I know what you mean.
To look back on it.
Well, I wasn't a proper downer because it was just
fuming afterwards.
I was fuming
when we conceded that goal. Like
I said to you on Saturday, really in the grand scheme of things, this is no. It was the same with Burnley as well. It was no different to what we'd done at Crystal Palace the week before.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
it's just the difference is that you had two polar opposite halves. Where first half we battered them. There's no ifs or buts about it. We battered them. We should have had it wrapped up and done. But they're the games that come back to bite you on the arse.
And that's what annoyed me more, the performance level in either half rather than the last minute goal. And I know that sounds silly to say, but I felt as annoyed about the second half, regardless if they might have scored or not.
Well, you don't mind.
It was just so bad, man.
You don't mind losing if you've put the effort in the performance and they're going like that Everton game that we talked about.
He doesn't think that actually, but I agree totally. We left that game and I actually thought they played really well, and I thought, hey, they've given everything and they've conceded in the last minute. It was what it was. We played really well, blah blah blah. That game, it was it was the opposite feeling. It was like you should have done
You've
a lot
thrown
better
it.
there. Like.
So it felt like that we'd thrown it away.
Aye.
Based on just come out and do what you did first half, and it'll come.
Did you think Defoe was going to score?
Oh, of course I did.
Jesus, when he come and I went, I'd bet my life when he's going to score. Yeah, like
he had one. Well, he had the shot that led to the goal, didn't he?
Apparently he was offside, but I didn't see it, so I didn't know. But it was just a soft goal.
He's not one that I worry about, to be honest.
He is. 100%. He's up there. Shane Long for me, like Shane Long, Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe.
Peter Crouch hasn't scored against.
Oh, but he's not like he's how long. He scores against everyone, man.
He scored a crack at the weekend.
Oh no, we were sat in the pub watching it. As soon as he
comes
on, you think, oh shit, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, he got more power in the head than what people get in the fucking legs, man. It was ridiculous.
Definitely more than a Perez shot. Goal. I honestly believe.
Right, shall we jump straight to the questions?
Can I go for a wee first?
Go on.
How too much to drink?
Slag him off when he goes.
I couldn't care less. Bellends.
I prefer his fancy dress this week than last week. So, what shall we talk about?
Well, I wanted to mention something about the England squad. That I could not believe that I've seen, like, someone from Shields is being called up today.
Who the fuck's Harry Wings?
Oh, he's mint him.
Is he?
He's some player. He is.
This is how out of touch I am with England.
You're very out of touch. Like.
I don't.
Do you think he's good at? He is some player. He is a real amazing. Honestly, amazing.
I don't even like.
But they've got in someone from Shields, haven't they? What's he called? Cork or something. Jack.
He's from Shields.
Wait, Burnley.
Sounds like.
I meant playing for South Shields. How on earth is he getting ahead of? I'm not even meaning Shelby. I'm not even going to go on there. I just mean is that
he's got his hair on his head. That's pretty wide. What was the last English bald player?
There must be someone else out there. Come on.
Last bald English player that you've ever saw. Who was it?
Steve
Murphy?
Stone.
No, Murphy was. Did Murphy?
Oh, Danny Murphy. Well, but was Steve Stone? No, maybe not.
Bald. There's not many, is there? Can you name it?
What was the right back? The right back.
English bald player that played for England.
Steve Stone.
That's about
this is how far we're going back.
Did you say that?
It wasn't
Steve
him.
Stone and Daryl Murphy.
I said him, but who was the right back?
Daryl Murphy?
Not Daryl Murphy. Danny Murphy.
Danny Murphy.
Who was the right back?
Danny Mills.
Danny Mills.
I
think it might have been Danny Mills.
No, that was before.
No, Murphy it wasn't before Steve Stone.
Was Murphy not after Mills?
Murphy would have been after Mills.
Oh, I didn't think so. Like.
This is what I mean. They just don't want bald people playing for England.
Wayne Rooney.
True. He's got pubes.
That's a fair point. Like,
he's got pubes.
Well, we were just saying I was because you went. Sorry, I was just saying like, but the England squad.
Shelby.
Well, well, I didn't really want to just because I love Shelby. Blah blah blah. I didn't want to just say him because I actually don't know if he's done enough to get in. To be honest,
well,
anyway.
It's just the pundits and stuff
surely
like that.
He's better than that.
I'm glad he's not in the squad. I mean, we've said it before. I couldn't care less about England.
Did you see Lascelles like that guy's
tweet
though?
Fans.
Did you see that Lascelles like that guy? Someone put a
comment. Lascelles has played very, very well.
So he obviously is disappointed. Yeah. Obviously he was, but fair enough. It should be his admiration.
You will, as a professional, it is like an accolade to be called up for your country, isn't it?
But then again, Lascelles, he could go away from England and not play the next 6 games with Rafa in charge. He'll be clogging the for the next 6.
The thing is
Lascelles off on the bench.
Lascelles is up against a lot more quality in that position than Shelby is, based on what is there available.
What Shelby has to do an awful lot more for us, in my opinion. I thought he was poor on Saturday. Like I honestly thought he was very poor. Passenger didn't offer an out.
But that was the
problem.
But second half, the midfield just weren't in the game.
Right, let's get the
because of the way we started playing and stuff like that.
The first one came 4 days ago.
That's
4 days ago, the first question game. That was probably before the game. Right? Who did I send my medical bill to for getting my bell end stuck in an Oasis bottle?
I've already replied to that one.
What did you tell
me? You must have a massive bell end if you got it stuck in a... oh no, did he say Oasis?
Oasis bottle?
Oasis bottle lids like that, man. How big's your bell end?
It's not big.
You want to get yourself to the doctor's, son?
Excuse me, I've got an inflamed bell end.
I've got an engorged bell end.
He's got an STI, hasn't he?
Probably.
Right.
Yes, but it was me. Oasis bottles are the best away day piss bottle.
Matthew Milton sends in, the All Smile Faces podcast will be decent after that game. Special mention to Rob Elliot, the only player that stayed to applaud fans at full time.
Very true.
I did, you're right. Yeah.
That says a lot
all
about
the rest
his character.
And it could be...
People didn't look at character though when they get...
It could be that it could be that the players were disappointed.
Doesn't matter.
And do it, but in my eyes, they bottled it.
We could have lost 5, 6, 7, 8-0. I still think every player should at least acknowledge.
Well, I think the problem is
we're the ones that sat through it
because of the reaction at full time when that whistle went.
Probably
they just thought, oh, well, I'm not going to go over there because they're just going to boo or shout.
That probably just proves that Rob Elliott's got bigger balls.
And then the difference was when Rob Elliot came, everybody in the Gallagher end clapped them.
Well, there was about 17 left, so I get you. But
there was more than that.
They do. I don't think
I was still trying to get out.
I don't know. There's more in this room, I think, to be honest. I think that some of them, and I'll be honest here, I probably thought, I'm not going to clap you, because you didn't really do anything to get behind me the day.
No.
And if someone sat here and said to me, I said, now it is actually, apart from paying me money, did we get behind that team? We did.
Yeah, but even if, right...
Very rarely.
When we win, I know Lascelles definitely would have done his lap
that, though,
if he was fit.
Not even that.
Shelby's
it's the fact that...
Lascelles would have clapped.
100% he would have been around that.
It's not even that. It's the fact that, yes, the atmosphere was shite, right? But...
You left before full time, man. So
what I'm saying is, as soon as that goal hit the net, I was gone.
But even before that, people were leaving. So if fans are saying, oh, they all went down the tunnel, some people had left before they had even finished, man. It's a difficult one to criticise, isn't it, when they're not even there?
I know, but...
I'm not saying you're criticising, I just think
if I was a player, I'd make an effort no matter what.
Oh, I would. But is it because we're...
Well, did you not see people were even coming out and slagging off Matt Ritchie because he was talking to the Bournemouth players at the full-time whistle?
I saw a tweet saying, what do you think about this? I was like, what? Are you kidding? He's been a Bournemouth player for God knows how many years.
So if you go and play a game of football against your mates
you're not allowed to smile?
That you've worked with for years and years, and you only see them twice a year, are you not going to have a big crack on with them?
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Talk to them about it and stuff like that.
This is the scrutiny that the guys
we're not 20th in the Premier League here. We're sitting in, 11th was it?
Whatever.
We're sitting in 11th.
I think
he's allowed to talk to his mates. He's allowed to have a big crack and joke with them. If you were one of them people kicking off about that, piss off, man. That
we're slagging off everybody at night.
I'm the only one that has.
You can do it.
I love you all.
The whole. Can you remember when Defoe scored against me with that volley against Krull at Stadium of Light?
No, I can't remember that.
Then Krull and Defoe were laughing on the way off the pitch. I didn't like that. Because they've got no connection whatsoever, right? Nothing. But the connection between Matt Ritchie and his dad.
It's his brother.
It's his
twin. They're identical, aren't they?
God, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's
I thought the second half, I thought I was on the pitch.
People still even when Krull finally went to the champions of the championship last season. They were coming out and saying,
"Oh shit, we got a seagull as well." Fuck, we're turning the Brighton podcast.
That's what I said to you when you bought it. But people are going, I never forgave Tim Krull for that moment. What do you mean you never forgive him?
I forgot about it until he just said it.
His Chris Packer hands were long.
Never forget Kabay, but Kabay was an arsehole.
But shall we jump on the next?
Never ever forgive him ever.
Who?
Kabay.
What was the question there? Did one answer?
I
can't even remember.
No, he was just giving a special mention to Rob Elliot for applauding everyone.
Yeah,
it's fair comment. Actually, something I forgot about.
Then he sends in. This is Matthew Milton once again. Do you think Gayle will start over Perez again, or do you think we'll see Perez in the number 10 role, considering we lost? I don't think we'll see. I don't think Perez will start next game.
What scares us to
difference is it's Man United away. We're going to play 4-5.
He's not going to up front. But what scares us to death though is we lost that game playing 2 up front, and I think Rafa. I hope he doesn't, but I hope
Rafa will think fuck yous.
I'll never play 2 up front again because some journalists put that on saying I don't think he'll play it again because we lost. And I was like, we did not lose that game because we went 2 up front. It had nothing to do with that whatsoever.
No. Yeah.
I kind of understand not going 2 up front against Man United. I'm fine with that. That's not a problem. But going forward, I think we should be playing.
The only reason I think he played 4-4-2 is because Bournemouth did.
Stop calling them Bournemouth.
So he almost. Do you know
every time he says Bournemouth, you want to laugh at him?
I feel it's like Souness says that a lot.
I'm purposely saying it now.
No, you're not. That's what you say.
So I think he actually went to that formation because that's the way that they played.
No, this is in my opinion. Rafa starts on his team sheet and his formation on Monday. And when it gets to Saturday, if he looks at the team sheet, they're playing 4-4-2, I'll change. Bollocks. Nah. He will stay with what he's worked at Monday to Friday. And I think he thought, we're lacking goals, we're struggling to get goals, we're playing against a team that's in the bottom 3 at home, I'm going to play 2 up front.
I think Rafa probably went in that game for confidence that would score a handful of goals, at least 2-3 goals.
The thing is we should have.
No, I think he did.
I've said it before. Scored 4 or 5.
You don't think those 2 strikers could have scored a couple of goals?
If scored a couple of goals, what on that performance? No, he could have scored a couple of goals. Gayle scored one.
That's the thing. But if he doesn't score, but if he sets 3 up, then I couldn't care less.
But you've got to give them more than just that one game, haven't you? Though, like you can't just play to a front once in 70 games. It didn't work that once. You've got to give it a stretch of time.
Almost, you know what I mean? And I think that this is maybe where some of the booing and the negativities come from. Is that it's been building and building and building because people are getting frustrated about having the performances that we do where we're being solid and stuff like that and difficult to break down, but we're not getting forward. So because we're not getting forward and creating chances or scoring goals, then it's adding to that.
What didn't help, minus the Bournemouth fans, 51,000 thought we were going to win that game before kick-off. Every single person was in the pub, on the metro, on the way going, well, we've won the day.
I agree with that. I thought we were going to win that.
That's everyone did.
I'll take you back to this time last week. What were you saying about Burnley?
That we should have beat them, or we should have been more expansive, we should have been better against them.
But
I'm not saying we should have won the game. I'm just saying I expect to take the game to them at some points in the game.
I was saying,
we took it to them. We tried. We did. We never did that against Burnley.
Why should we expect to beat these? What divine right do we have?
We don't have.
We're 9th and they're 19th. That's what the right we've got. They're second bottom, man. At the time, I'm expecting us at home to beat
Bournemouth were shit.
They were shite, man. They were really bad. And you look at Burnley. So, I remember last week we were talking about the Burnley game, and it was, Burnley are at home, and they came out the traps, etc., etc. We're playing at home against a team that's in the bottom 3. I expect us to be the team that's going at them. In fairness, the first half we did. In fairness,
but
I'll ask you a question. This hasn't been sent in, but I'll ask you this because
can you tweet it in first? Then
we're talking about scoring goals and that, right? In the past, the last game against Man U away, Mitrovic had a decent game. He had it against the ball.
He did. He broke the ball.
I remember. Would you take Mitrovic to start the game, score a goal, first half, get sent off first half? Would you take that right now? So he takes us into half time, 1-0 up, but he's been sent off. Would you take that?
He's nodding like hell. He's like a Churchill talking about it.
Would you take that?
No, because we'll get beat about 8-1. I'd rather be on the pitch for the... That's a weird question, right?
No, because a lot of people are saying we can't trust Mitrovic because he'll come on the pitch and get scored off. But I think Mitrovic is in fact, no, I don't think it. I know for fine fact.
This whole fucking trust thing with Mitrovic.
Does my fucking head in? But I'm trying to. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to get people's fucking heads here.
He's made some stupid. It was like the one against Arsenal.
He shouldn't have got sent off.
The season that we went. Arsenal.
Shouldn't have got sent off. Spurs, yes. Arsenal, no.
Arsenal, definitely not. Definitely. The stupid one is the West Ham one.
Against Coquelin or whatever.
The West Ham one's stupid, man. We're 3-0 up and he's just running around elbows. We didn't even bother. Don't even bother doing it.
I don't think...
Well, I
would defend him. I don't think he
we're going for orange cards again.
He didn't go to elbows.
Orange cards.
The point... Sorry, what were you saying? Score a goal and get sent off. Oh, Shelby. Remember when he got sent off against Spurs? Right?
That was worse than anything Mitrovic has ever done.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't. Remember the Twitter reaction to that game? People said he should not
for him ever again.
That's the word. Ever again. Fast forward, he should be playing England squad now. That's ridiculous. You can't be that. You can't have.
It's only Danny Murphy and Graham Souness that are saying that.
No, I disagree. Fans on there are saying Shelby should be in. Now, when I was the same person,
as a reaction to what's been said,
when he got sent off,
he shouldn't be in the England squad.
No, but
anyway,
he shouldn't be led like easy then. Just because Souness says he should be in the England squad, and people on here going, should be in.
But no, but then the press has picked up, the newspapers have picked up. They've been putting up. Even Funny 88 has been on about it this week.
Any fan that said he shouldn't play again after getting sent off against Spurs. Fuck off. So I'll join in with you. If you've said that, fuck off.
Tell them to fuck off.
Because it's wrong.
Speak to the camera, tell them to fuck off.
Fuck off.
Who are you telling to fuck off?
The people that said he shouldn't play again.
Right, stick your fingers up again.
It's ridiculous to even think that, isn't it? It's ridiculous. I always remember, you might have been there, but Champions League game when we're playing Inter Milan and Shearer turns around, absolutely stitches kind of banned for 3 games.
Oh, yeah.
That's stupidity. We're playing Champions League football, man. And he does that. No one said a thing because it's Alan Shearer. And I understand. But you can't then just because Shelby gets sent off say he should never play again, should never wear the black and white shirt again. What a ridiculous
what you're forgetting there is Shearer had been getting kicked left, right and centre the whole game off.
You didn't kick out, man. You didn't.
No, I know.
It
was a reaction to
just score 2 goals and then go kick us again. That's what you do. You could be better than them, man. Rise above it. Anyway, sorry.
The thing with Mitrovic was be royal. Eli, I love when we hate him. So
I wouldn't want him to score and get sent off either, because if he got sent off, he'd never, ever, ever play again.
But he doesn't fucking play anyway?
No, but he would never play again if he got sent off again. Like, he would be gone in January.
I've got all these
you're going to hang on to that one goal, you know what I mean? You're going to, he's got to get.
Did you like the Metro stickers?
Oh, they were fantastic. My dad loved them as well. He went, he's got a really good imagination, hasn't he, putting them up against that. He did, honestly. I was like, it was alright.
Just wait till the Metro comes in and kicks off.
Was fortunate that Lee Ryder was driving the Metro that day as well, wasn't it?
Aye. Even at St James's at the top of the Metro, man. Hit jackpot there, like, didn't it? Right, next one. Ryan Patterson, believe it or not, is Metro finished? As a player? No. As a Newcastle United player? Probably yes.
He's definitely finished.
He's gone.
It's a fucking...
He's not lasting this
season.
It's a joke,
isn't it?
He's not lasting this season. He'll be playing for another... He'll be winning different clubs.
You just want some sort of explanation as to why. Well, it's like we sat here last week and I was like, that was my question, wasn't it?
What annoys me is that a lot of fans will say he mustn't be pulling his weight in training, but we know for fine well by things we've heard.
But
we can't talk about on the podcast, but he is pulling his weight in training.
Why wouldn't Rafa just come out and say he's not tried hard enough?
Rafa's not the type of person that wouldn't tell you that.
You'll get some fans saying, well, it's not for us to know. Some fans will just, it's his opinion.
There's no forthcoming information as to why he is not making that team, or is he?
The only reason he is
not. The journalists haven't got the balls either to ask the question. That's what pisses me off. You've got the likes of Ryder and that have got the opportunity to ask him why is Mitrovic not playing. Give her an answer, but they won't do it.
And if he doesn't give an answer, is it because he's not training well? And
he might. Rafa
know.
Could just sidestep the question, but at least ask the question.
We know that. It's hard to put it without dropping people in, but we know that he is training well. That's all we can say. We know he is training well. He's not lagging behind. He's training well.
We're ITK.
We're in the know. We're not, but he's training well. So anyone that's listening and's got the reply of, well, maybe he's not pulling his weight in training. No, you're wrong. He is. He's doing just as well as every other single player in training.
Well, I know Gayle was a lot worse than he's playing now, so...
aye.
But anyway...
It was the other striker that wasn't pulling his weight. But aye, next question. This comes from Joe Bullman. Your thoughts of the booing at the end of the Bournemouth game? We shouldn't ever boo a team that at least... Yeah.
Disgusting.
Aye. Never ever boo. Never. Oh, if you lose Derby, boo.
Nah.
If you lose Derby, boo.
If you were in... Oh, I'm trying to think of a
That's
position.
what we just said before. If you can honestly say that as 11 men, you've been on that pitch, you have gave your all to try and win that game and tried as hard as you can and put in a performance for us where you've shown that you've tried to win that game, then great.
If you're getting beat by Sunderland 3-0,
I'll take a defeat
at home at St James's Park to Sunderland, you boo. 3-0, you fucking boo.
Well, I can give you that one. I was so annoyed, you know. I didn't have the energy to even boo.
I was probably too pissed.
If you Palace were what at the start of the season, it was 6 games hadn't scored a goal. Is that something like that? If that was us, and people booed, I have to be honest. I probably say, you know what it is.
It wouldn't have got to 6 games.
We're ninth in the league, man. We were at the time. Sorry, at the time when we kicked off, we could have went 6th if we had beat Bournemouth, and people are booing us for.
It's a frustration that.
Because 50,000 people thought we were going to win.
And for me, this is where this deluded label comes through for us, is because we are Newcastle, we almost have this divine right to be going and beating teams week in, week out.
Yep.
And I get what you're saying about, based on that first half performance, we steamroll at them. We should have been beating that team. But going into it, you only expect us to go in to win it because they've had a poor start and we're doing quite well. But
I never thought that. I didn't honestly wake up and go, we'll beat these today. Not once. We're not good enough to just go, we'll beat these. We're not good enough.
But that's what I'm saying.
Based on what?
That is, I don't know. Because they were so shite.
History and the mentality of when Newcastle were a Premier League team. We're not.
Well, we are. We are. We're in the
we are because we're in the league. But the last 4, even before, last 4 years we've been yo-yoing. Like up and down between there.
And we haven't got the best
we have been shite for last season for the last 6 years.
So do you think we
probably... And even sometimes last year we sat here and said we were shite.
We've probably got maybe the worst squad? Well, not the worst. Against who? I think the newly promoted team is easily the bottom 3 teams have got the worst squads in the Premier League. But for what we're doing right now is good. But then you look at the likes of Huddersfield and Brighton, they're above us in the league now.
Doing well. Yeah, they are.
We're the one with the Champions League winner manager.
Huddersfield are doing amazing.
Well, that's where, because
let's be fair,
it's because they haven't
their fans haven't got that
have not got that expectation. They haven't got their fans.
But have we? Because at the start of this season, this podcast, we said finish 17th.
That reaction at that end of that game
shows
me that you've got.
You're right.
It was a loud noise. You've got 25,000 people that are sitting in. It's the same ones that have been sitting there for the last few seasons that boo constantly every game.
As individuals, we all said that we'd be happy just to survive, right? As a fan base, that booing showed that we've got higher expectations than what people make on. Like as fans.
It was an awful atmosphere from the start, wasn't it? It wasn't good from the start. I didn't honestly think it was very good. The whole game, it was just awful. It felt awful. It just
right.
Toxic.
Next one. Don Parsons sends in the big question. This is the big one. He says, pineapple on pizza. Fucking hell no.
Oh God, you dirty bastard.
Horrendous.
I'd rather have bringing Perez on pizza.
No,
we're both on the
bring the pineapple. Bring us the pineapple.
I mean, if somebody put a Hawaiian in front of us and it was the only thing on offer, I'd eat it.
It's ridiculous.
So I like.
I'm getting a pizza. I think.
I love a bit of pineapple.
I think I'm going to get one.
It's fucking 25.
I like. But
sorry, it's fine.
Pineapple with gammon
on a pizza.
No, man.
We're talking about pizzas, man. It's not just talking about food.
Pineapple with food, like I wouldn't like have it on me pizza, but I love a bit of pineapple with me gammon.
Oh yes, I get you now. I was still thinking of a pizza.
Right,
gammon and pineapple pizza.
Rob Fish is back with the next question.
But it is actually ham and pineapple, isn't it?
In a way, you're probably right. I know what you mean.
Right, Rob Fish is back, and he says, "Do you think Rafa got his substitutions wrong?" Yes, we've already stated that.
Rewind this.
Do you think the transfer window left him short of options? Well, yes. Of course it did.
Yeah, it did.
100%. But that still doesn't disregard the fact that he got the substitutes wrong, because there was people on the bench that could have done a better job.
Last night in that footage that got leaked of the club dinner, he was referencing the back to the transfer window again, wasn't he? In
Tommy
Abraham.
Right. Josh,
I wish we had him, but he's still crying. He's
Josh Wiley sends in saying, "What's your opinion on these fans who abuse the players on Twitter? Let's be honest. I would take 17th now if someone offered us. We support that. If shall we all call them dickheads?
Dickheads. Disgusting.
I felt like Alan Sugar there. You're fired.
Disgusting to
right. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. Everyone's entitled to criticise a player. Right? Do not tag them, man.
Would they say it to the face?
No, that's for
keyboard warrior, man.
Exactly.
Keyboard warrior. They've got 280 characters now. They'll be going mental next week.
Oh God, I'm not looking forward to that. Not looking forward to that. You're entitled to the opinion. Of course you are. Right? Don't tag a player. And there was someone in my mentions today saying, "Do you honestly think the players check their Twitter?" Yes.
Of course they do.
I know for fine well they do. 100%.
Do you not sit and read your Twitter?
I messaged Rob Elliot the other day, I sent him a private message.
You imagine if Perez responded
again.
Imagine if Perez responded going, "Atmosphere was shite today, lads. You're shite today. Use your crap."
Oh,
can you imagine?
Like you tag you in it. Oh, Deka, you were fucking shit.
You were shite today. You didn't sing a song. You were on my ass. And I'd be like, "Oh, that's really hurt me feelings." That
Jacob would love to tweet you, wouldn't he?
I'm all for this. I'm all for players tagging Newcastle fans and stuff just to slate them.
What? Sorry, what?
Like for a Newcastle player
the thing,
to tag a fan. Like say if Shell. Oh, he hasn't got Twitter. Who's got Twitter? Say Lascelles came on, right, and he just sends out a tweet saying, "Oh, Gallagher shot Senior the other day in the ground. You're a fucking arsehole."
He'd be right.
He would be right. Well, cheers, mate. It's a bit harsh.
But not what it is, though, isn't it? I mean, it's not uncalled for.
If you've got an opinion, yes, say to the fan, say to the ground, say it in the pub to your mates afterwards. Don't tag a player in it, man. You're not going to cheat. Don't even write it and say the player's full name, because they've all got that tweet deck where the full name comes back to themselves.
Well, I'm guilty of that then, because I have put can't believe the Perez sub or something. So, but I've never put at. I've never done that. Do you know what I mean?
So that his brother can read it.
That gets mentioned every week.
Right, Kevin sends in. Kevin's back. Is Rafa getting the most out of our squad? And will burnout be a factor coming close to the busy Christmas period?
Burnout, 100%.
100%.
He's getting the best out of them. Let's be realistic. He really is.
I agree with both points.
Most of them.
No, He is. He's doing a fantastic job. I thought it would be really struggling.
Right, we'll move on quickly. Michael Van sends in.
If that's the best that he's getting out of Perez, I'd hate to see his worst.
Michael Van sends in. Who would win in a fight? Lascelles or
Lascelles? Who didn't care who's fighting? Oh, you're gonna say Mitro, aren't you? You're gonna say Mitro
or a Seagull.
I'm gonna say him.
Yeah, I'll see some.
Lascelles or a Seagull.
Cedric.
Oh, Lascelles nearby.
Do you reckon Lascelles could kill a pigeon, a seagull?
No issues.
How many punches? Just one. A single punch to his face, his beak.
You just bounce off him.
You know what? I've just remembered as well.
What if Lascelles had a sausage roll in his hand?
He's in big trouble. So
done for.
He's in big trouble.
He actually says
he's going to be left in a flaky pastry corner.
Michael Vance actually continues with saying, "Who would win in a fight, Lascelles or a Shield Seagull in range with the sausage roll?"
Oh, there you are. That's the game changer.
I think the Seagull would win that.
I think he's lost with the sausage roll.
We're gonna go quick because the battery's dead.
I've got a Seagull story though.
Oh, how long is it?
I've totally forgot. I was going to actually text you yesterday. Yet again, I seen mass murder in Newcastle city centre. A seagull taking out a pigeon.
No, you did not.
Did. That's the 4th time I've actually seen it.
Killed the pigeon?
Yeah. Seagull just literally, bang, comes down, takes a pigeon out and starts eating it.
Oh,
wow.
God.
It's unreal.
That's
I prefer sausage roll.
4th time I've seen that in Newcastle city centre.
Right, my bait next, that'll be attacking.
Daryl Mitchell sends in a couple of photos of seagulls. Right, Jody Ormond sends in, am I being over cynical that I think Mitro will play at Man United?
Oh.
Do not, and it be used as a reason not to pick him. That's probably a point. Daryl Mitchell also sends in, so I have got tomorrow. No, piss off, Daryl. Piss off, Daryl. Since we're telling people to piss off on the camera.
Is he Chinese?
You can't tell Daryl to piss off. He's one of the only ones that listens.
Ben Edwards. Hang on.
Can you take that phone off him?
He struggles to read,
what's going on?
No, it's just because people are like sending us random shit here. Right, NUFC unofficial sends in, if you could have either an informed Beardsley or an informed Shearer in the starting 11 for the game against Manchester United, who would you have?
Beardsley. Because I wouldn't get the ball to Shearer, so Beardsley.
Peter Beardsley is the greatest player ever to wear black and white.
Right, Daryl Thompson sends in, does the overreaction to every loss do your heads in? People seem to think we should steamroll everyone.
Yes.
Agree with that.
It's a funny one because I do agree it was no reaction.
Adjust your expectations. I'm sure I said that about 1,000,000 times last week.
He also follows us up by saying, realistically, we're Dean R with a poor squad. We all need strengthening, but where is most desperate?
Number 10 is striker.
Beardsley.
Well, number 10, sorry.
Beardsley.
The rest of the team are alright.
I'd love Peter.
Arun sends in, would Deka rather fight 428 Shield Seagulls once every fortnight?
Whatever the options, I take it.
That's a flop. Like, one's bad enough.
428 seagulls.
Whatever the other option is, I'm taking it. Whatever it is.
Yes, you're taking the other option.
Whatever it is,
your other option is, or say the word cunt to his family. Say the word cunt to his family at breakfast every morning. So
I don't say. Oh, mommy bean, no chance. Bring on the seagulls.
So when you're young and sitting there eating a cornflakes, you just look at him and go, fuck off.
You cunt.
You cunt. Oh, I'm just telling her fuck off as well. You're just supposed to call her a cunt.
Eat your cornflakes, you cunt.
That's a really good treat though, because I fell for it, didn't I? I fell for it like.
Brilliant.
So
I'm taking the seagulls on every day.
Tweet of the week, that.
No, you're telling your daughter.
You can strap sausage rolls to us, man. I'll be just standing there going, bring it on.
You
know, have you seen that with Jon Snow when he just pulls out his sword? I'll just be like that. Seagulls come.
Well, Deka, to be fair, before the question was finished, you just said that your daughter was a cunt. And your wife.
Well. No, of course not. Love them both.
You're fighting seagulls.
He deserves a prize for that question. We'll send him a seagull.
Give him a kiss, Nick.
I'm scared of him. I couldn't get
just make peace with him.
Good question.
Bravo.
Right, Daryl Mitchell Hill, he's sending a proper one here, which he sent us a photo because he had too many characters. Even though he's got 280, he's sent this one.
This looks good, this.
Same as last week, to what extent do we have to be shit in the shit before we see Mitro start or come off the bench? Mitro's not coming. Is he not happening? I'm at the point now where we'll probably not see Mitro ever again.
We'd have to have 4 of their players sent off.
No, what we need is we need Yosselu and Gayle again.
3-0 up.
We need like a sickness bug to go around the ground.
Yeah, that's the only way that's going to. Or an FA Cup game. It's the only way it's going to happen.
Well, January.
I don't think we'll ever see Mitrovic.
He's not gone by then.
Not in a high vis.
Did you see? Do you have a pint at half time or not? Or do you? So I came back up anyway, And the players came out at the moment. Mitrovic wasn't there, and I first thought, "Oh, he's coming on. He's getting changed." And then he comes. He had a massive coat on, blah blah. And it was Jesus and someone else were just passing back and forwards for ages, and he was like waiting there for ages.
They weren't even passing the ball.
And then they passed him it. It
was brilliant.
And Jesus went, yep, and he went, fuck off, and he just kicked it
miles away from him. And he went.
It was fucking amazing. Honestly, it was really funny.
Right, he follows the question up with
like, get in your dick.
Did Lascelles' injury change Rafa's plans? Yeah,
it changed the game.
Part 2. We've got a part 2 to the question.
Yeah, me.
Taking the piss now, Daryl, are we?
How many questions has Daryl sent in tonight?
10.
Jesus.
Right, who would you go for in January? Boost our striking options.
Peter Beardsley.
I would, and this is the bonus.
Ben Arthur.
I'd throw the lot at Barkley. I'd throw the lot at him.
He's been talked about a lot, hasn't he?
I don't know if he'd come on, but
our producer's telling us to hurry up because that battery's about to go. Right.
Why does he never charge this battery before he comes?
I don't know.
He's useless.
It's a bad battery.
So, prediction, score, Man U. Let's go. This is my first one of the season, and I'm going to go 3-0 defeat.
Well,
and that pains us to fucking say that.
They're finding it difficult to score.
They're
in a poor run of form.
I just asked for a
score. I'm going 5-0 to them.
I want Merson.
That means you've got to wear loads of clothes.
I want Merson to tip with to lose.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Lukaku will score 4. There we go.
I think it depends if Lascelles back.
This daft shit's in what? 2-0 Newcastle.
If Lascelles back,
2-0 Newcastle.
Lukaku.
Can you imagine what Martial will do to Manquillo or fucking whoever? Rashford one. I reckon we'll get absolutely humped because they're going to be really pissed off of that Chelsea game, and I reckon they will absolutely rip us apart.
Nigh on every single player in that team is going to be away for international duty.
That's fine. They'll come back and they'll be
2 games.
They'll be fine.
Have we actually got anybody away?
This is like a really bad thing to end the podcast on, isn't it? Shall we talk about?
But this is the thing though. It doesn't bother me if we get hammered. It's Man United away. If we get beat, we get beat. I don't bother. We'll move on. And
gets about that expectation. You almost expect to go down there and lose.
Or get hammered.
Right, let's go tonight. Right, we'll end it on a positive. Shola Ameobi is now a Hall of Fame member to Newcastle United.
Did you see the amount of shit he was getting?
Oh, if you're giving Shola shit, fuck off, man.
He stole a living. He robbed this club of thousands.
What's he done? Like
I tell you what, I loved it. That was my favourite bit. He's been inducted into the Hall of Fame.
For what?
Being Shola? That's why.
What Hall of Fame though?
Newcastle United
Hall of Fame.
It's not a fame.
He's on fire.
We're not American. We didn't have a Hall of Fame.
We do, man.
Ferdinand
and Shola got put in last night.
Loads of bloody Premier League.
The official. I'm talking about official here. Actually, there have been.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Shola and Ferdinand.
Most clubs have got a Hall of Fame.
Fair enough. Great news.
Andy also...
He's turned it negative again!
Shola also announced...
the soldier turned his back.
Aye, on the Hall of Fame.
On you? Oh no, he was bar.
He also got ambassador of the Newcastle United Foundation, and there's a new...
No, I didn't dislike the
new place being opened up the road from the ground, on the old site, the brewery, top corner.
What's happened here? Sorry?
Where were you last night?
Yeah, I mean, you call yourself a supporter? How are you, man? Do you actually follow at NUFC?
Umar?
I do, obviously, but I didn't see that, I swear to God.
Yeah, it was on our Facebook,
We're building... Well, NUFC Foundation are building a new complex. The back of St. Jude... What's that?
Do you know where the thingy pub across the road from...
That rough pub? That way you done the interview that time?
Pub. Just there, the top of where the brewery
And what's it going to be? Sorry, what is it?
So it's going to be a new foundation.
It's not academy, it's going to be a foundation where they find
football pitches, learning, training...
Right.
It's going to be a complex for...
You keep saying complex, but you didn't know what it is.
A complex, it's a building that's just full of shit that you don't need.
So he doesn't know.
Loads of pitches inside. It's going to be rooftop football pitch.
They've got treadmills.
Three floors.
They've got treadmills.
So it's going to be for fitness.
They've got badminton, I saw that.
Yeah. But they're already doing it at the minute, but they do it kind of down at the training ground. They do the classroom stuff in the stadium, but they're going to make a purpose-built.
It's giving the youngsters a way out of the rough area.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Awesome.
Good.
I'm all for that. That's really good.
Shola is a Hall of Fame member.
Hey, well, you're right. You give it all that. He scored some beauty.
I loved watching all of the goals that he scored. Every single one.
When you said Hall of Fame, it did shock us a little.
Listen to the little thing afterwards. He's nearly crying, man, when he gets inducted. Like,
of course he is.
He's still, he's been inducted and he's still playing football.
I reckon he'd be Eddie Osalu if he was here. Good night.
On that bombshell.
We'll go all night.
more mobile.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks. International this weekend. No one cares.
No, we didn't.
Who's England actually playing?
I don't give a fuck.
Germany, man, on Friday.
Oh, it is. That's right.
Get hammered.
I'd love to beat them 5-1 again.
Right, so...
Want to score 5 goals in
I think that's the last time
I
watched England.
We're arranging a charity thing, but we've got no time to talk about it, so we'll probably tweet it out later in the week. Right. See you in a couple of weeks. After the Man U...
Victory.
Well,
first.
Stay safe, love yous.
That's about it. Love yous all very much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Adios.
Bye. Except you dickheads.